What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Rage Traders NRL Supercoach podcast. And of course, Wolfie here today going through the round 16 wrap up. It's tough, but we do get bailed out with a great captaincy pick from Sua Fa'alogo. He absolutely tore it up this game. Really, really good to see. And happy that I finally am getting some captaincy picks right, but have had some mediocre scores and some injuries that have only got me to a score for this week of about 1240-ish for memory, 1226. Now, what can I say? You know, I got Tarpanay getting a 37. I got Jackson Ford getting injured. I brought Papali'i in, and I chose between Papali'i and Hamole Olakawatu. I thought he was definitely up for 80 minutes this game. That didn't happen. He got a 64, so that's not too bad. He looked very good when he was playing, attacking the line. The silver linings in this is that I held Purdue for a 60. He could have easily got a 70, 80 plus this game, very close to scoring another try. And I've held Helam Lukey as well for a 53. The reason being is I actually think there's a lot of value in Helam Lukey after this sort of bye period where they come in and they don't verse, crazy hard teams. But if I can just stick it out for these 4 games where 2 of them are buys, maintain who I have around my team and just get away with those 4 rounds, then have Lukey, who could literally be a player that still pops off and gets 80, 90 pluses. I know we're trying to get to these premium players, but 14 trades left for me with 1 boost. It's getting very, very tight, and I think we'll do this in a separate video, but there's been a lot of things I've reflected on this season that I think hurt me a lot, especially over trading. Even trading Drinkwater out this week, who I thought was definitely going to go for like a 40 to a 70. He pops off for 100. It's so crazy. I think the best thing I've done this season is holding Suafar logo. I was very adamant about that and trading out Teddy over him. That has proved to be like if I didn't do that, my season would have just been even like 5 times worse, because my captaincy picks would have been tough. My scores would have been a lot worse, and they have been pretty average this week. And I think there's a lot of people this week still popping out like 13, 1400s, which honestly surprised me. There must have been a lot of people that, have some of the highest scoring Dolphins players. Maybe there's people with like, I don't even know who to think of. Maybe a lot of people had some Warriors players, or just like your random Will Warbricks, or your Newcastle, like your Sharps. But we'll get into that in the wrap up anyway. But first and foremost, if you do enjoy the video, if you do like the podcast, 5-star review on the podcast, Apple and Spotify, and of course on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. So again, still happy with my week, but there's a lot to improve on. I think what's really hurt me, and this is one thing I've been noticing for me, which is a bit of a pattern, and that is in the last 2 seasons. So the season before this, I finished 556, and I gained a lot of ranks during the bye period. This hasn't happened this season for me, and it's not getting these players that have really good base but also really high ceilings. So Simi Sasagi, even not getting Tamari Martin early enough. I got him 2 rounds ago. I've talked about him being an amazing player ever since I've seen him in Supercoach. The green light was given to him. I was still hesitant on doing it, and I regret it. It should have been done 2 rounds earlier. Then you've got players like Harry Grant, who I just should have started with, to be honest with you. Still am happy with like my Robson, and Pascoe was kind of like a shining white knight for me. But still, it's like these simple picks, your Sasagi's, even taking a gamble on Kiraz 3 rounds ago, I think has just boosted up. The big one is like even Greg Marju. I got him in to make money. I expected him to do a lot better than what happened, what we saw here. So let's get into it. Let's just get into it. Let's start with the Knights and Dragons. Knights winning 22-20, and I brought in Val Holmes this week. Now, the crazy thing is, I thought it was a great pick. He had a break even of 19. He scored an early try this game, and I was like, okay, surely this is a minimum 60. With a try, gets a 40. That is with a goal kicking as well. So either they're not going to him enough, or he's not looking for the ball enough like a Kiraz. And I'd say it's a bit of both. In a game where it's only a 2-point game, each team scores 20 or more points, I'd expect a bit of a better score than him. Now, he had a pretty awful night on the boot. He had some definitely one key misses on the boot. But just points-wise, I just thought if he's got a try next to his name, imagine if he didn't score that try. It would have been one of the worst trades I've ever done. Now, he does have round 18 coverage, and this is why I got him in. If he can just string some better scores together, hopefully the kicking doesn't get taken away from him, because that would hurt me just super coach wise. But yeah, I'm still happy with the trade. Just quickly, let's just look at their draw, because maybe it's something I should, like, it was either him or Fletcher Sharp. And I know a lot of you would say, why wouldn't you go Fletcher Sharp? The reason I didn't go Fletcher Sharp was not because I didn't believe in him. It was because that I was so happy with Tamari Martin and still happy with Purdue that I didn't want to kind of sideways trade from Purdue to Sharp, because I've decided that I wanted to hold Hines and Cleary. Whether that is a grave mistake, I think the only thing I can do to really get some rank back is actually by holding trades. Now, if I trade out Cleary and I trade out move Tamari Martin up, then I've got to do the same by getting Tamari Martin back down. Then I've got to get Cleary back in. That's another 1 or 2 trades that I really can't afford to do. So I think there's going to be a lot of mayhem towards the end of this season, and that's what I'm kind of banking on happening. Now, we've also got injuries occurring this round as well that we're going to get into. But on top of that, that's where my sort of head is at. How can I finish the best in this season, with a season that I really have had some unfortunate luck in, some bad decisions, and those two mixed together really aren't a great combination in Supercoach. Looking at the St. George draw, so they just versed Newcastle away. They're now versing Canberra away. That could be a bit of a points fest there. Canberra are not playing great footy. I still expect them to win this game because it's at Canberra's home, but their defense isn't as good. They then have West Tigers at home into the bye. So I can easily cover Val Holmes in that period. New Zealand away is tough after that. Then they have Gold Coast at home, Dolphins at home, Sharks at home, West Tigers away. So I'm just hoping there's a couple of games from Val Holmes in this where he can string at 80 to 90. I definitely wouldn't be saying like against New Zealand, maybe he's someone I'd leave out of my team. You know what I mean? So he's just going to be someone I can swing in and out. He was about 500,000, so he was quite cheap. And he was just someone I thought, you know what, I'm going to take a bit of a punt on it. Let's talk about the wrap-up now. Ryan Couchman, 90 points, an absolute beast. Everyone knew to get him in at the start of the season. He was the guy that you wanted with Lasardi, and he's proving why he's just an absolute beast and should always be having a place in your field, in your team that's making points. Egan, 85. For people that went Egan, that's really, really good to see. The big one is Setu 2, 83 in this. We're in a week where center wings, some of them really failed this week. Your Bostocks, your Mars Hughes, players like that. This is just a great score for people that had him, and I think there's a lot of people out there. Do I regret selling him? Yeah, kind of likely. I do, because I most probably overtraded to sell him out to get Tamale in. Then the next week, Tamale got injured. Those little things really hurt you in Supercoach, and obviously I can't see Tamale getting injured, but these things happen, and that really hurts me. Hamish Stewart, 74. I do think Egan and Couchman are the better of the two now. Toby Couchman, 68 is okay, but for his price tag, and this is why I didn't go there, I just think Ryan Couchman, Dylan Egan's taking a bit off him as well in the runs department. I just think Toby Couchman isn't a season keeper. That's my opinion. I just think it's Ryan Couchman. Possibly Dylan Egan could be up there, but more Ryan Couchman in my opinion. Atkinson, 60, really good to see, but this St. George team, it's just, they know their season's done. Whether that means they play more aggressive offloady footy, I don't know. But yeah, even Cook with a 25 into, I think Leilua coming on looked really good in this game, but only gets a 41 here. But yeah, their season's just so short. You wouldn't be looking at St. George players. Dylan Brown, 85, huge game from him. Top scoring here. Really, really nice to see. Dane Gagai was someone who was actually thinking about going last week. He gets a 76, but even Fletcher Sharp, a 74 with 2 tries. That is absurd to me. This is the type of game I expect him to go 100 plus. And it just doesn't happen. I don't know what goes on, but it's just not the old Fletcher Sharp from last season. Whether they took their foot off the pedal a bit after scoring 2 tries, going up 12-0, thinking, oh, it's an easy game. And then Dragons hit back. It was a very grindy game. But Supercoach wise, it just wasn't there. Even for people that went like Dominic Young, I know a 66 you'll live with, but you're like expecting like a 90 plus for him against the Dragons. So it shows that Dragons are playing better footy, but still not getting the W. The big one is Greg Marju. Now you had a big decision here. He was like 800 and something thousand. A lot of people were trading him out for the money. I haven't personally traded him out because one, I really like their draw. Now the question is, do you trade him out now? He's going to take a hit of a lot of money, and I think at this point I'm just like, look, they've got West Tigers at home, into Dolphins at home, into Souths away. I mean, if I just can't do it. I can't afford the trade. You hope to see a really good score from him, but this round he had 156 break even. He's now scored a 35. He's losing a ton of cash. Kalen Ponga will be back. Hopefully that boosts his score up a lot, and the hold is worth it. I mean, if he went 120 plus this week, you'd absolutely love to see it, and then that would be worth a hold for sure. Nothing else much to talk about here about the Newcastle Knights, but even Bradman Best, the 66, many people would be looking at him. But Dane Gagai could be a nice little late swinger of a pod. Dolphins versus the Tigers. They looked. I just realized I have something up for the viewers of the video. Let me get that off. Tigers versus the Dolphins. 36-22 to the Dolphins. Boy, oh boy, you get the news. If you're a Katoa owner, you're very he's just sucks, because even if you got him in last week, you're like, okay, he's got the Tigers next week as well. They're playing in unbelievable form. I think it's 7 in a row, and boom, he's out for this game. You think, oh, he's out. Maybe Tigers do have a shot at winning this, but no. Dolphins just really striding well at the moment. Nafa'u's been amazing. He's been a huge pod. If he had a starting role in this team and it wasn't impacted by like obviously Origin and stuff, he would be in so many more teams. Trey Fuller 97 as well. That's been really nice. He's been a gun, but again, people are coming back into the team once Origin is done, and he's gonna sort of go to the interchange or bench. Same as Nafa'u. Lamelu gets an 86 this game. That's with a try. Herbie Farnworth started really strong this game and kind of just didn't have a strong second half, so gets a 94. But everyone that doesn't own Herbie Farnworth, this is why you own him. He's just so consistent. He's in a really good form at the moment, and if you don't have him, it's honestly season defining in a way. Nikorima's a really interesting talk here because he's playing some great footy. The left side is seeing some more ball as well. 32 break even, and he actually gets a 74 this game. I'm pretty sure he got a try assist and a try. Looking at the Dolphins, they now have, let's look here, New Zealand at home, Newcastle away, and Sharks at home into North Queensland at home. So kind of up and down games here, but still, he could be someone of a bit of a pod play. I do think he needs a bit of the attacking stats, but so does every other 5/8 as well. So that could be a possible play if you're looking at that. Jermaine Asako, 72. Nice to see he gets a late try and try assist from Bostock in this game. He was someone you were sort of weighing up whether you get him or Bostock. I think because he's got the goal kicking, he just edges him every week. But yeah, it is what it is. Bostock with a 50. I mean, he just does. He goes close so many times and just doesn't get there points wise. I'll live with the 50, but it's getting like to a point now where I really want to see him getting super coach points next to his name rather than looking great on the field and being close. The big drop off is Fina Fuiaki. Everyone was talking about Fina Fuiaki being this season keeper. The base is unreal. And look at him now, 89 break even. He only got a 40 in this game. I don't know what's gone on, but it's completely fallen off the map. And for those that are still on him, I'd be really questioning whether you keep him, in my opinion. I think there's a lot more better to choose. They have so many forwards in this team, and this is with some Origin players not backing up as well. So that's my take on him. But yeah, it just really sucks because he had a crazy good start to the season, and it's fallen off a bit, but it is what it is. All right, let's go to the next game. The Titans versus the Panthers. Wow. Now, I'm not joking. I didn't have the balls to do this, but I said to myself, Titans 1-12, Bulldogs 1-12. I can't believe it actually happened. I had a feeling Titans were going to win. I couldn't trust the Bulldogs, but Zane Harrison, 100 points, boy oh boy, gets the game-winning field goal as well to seal the deal. $262,000, 25 break-even. He could be someone you look at. Now, let's just look quickly at the Gold Coast draw. They have Bulldogs away. Bulldogs at home into a bye into Melbourne away. So you're not touching anything there. If you do have them, this could be a point where, I mean, it's really tough for people that, have Jaden Campbell, who got an 81, but this period for them is going to be tough. Bulldogs get the win. They're playing better defense. I wouldn't say they're playing better offense. So Bulldogs at home is going to be interesting. Into a bye, into Melbourne away, into Manly at home. So going to be very interesting to see how that pans out. But the Gold Coast Titans are playing much better footy. Aramaho, 97 points. Mo Fotuaika, 98 points. Fermor, 64. Would expect him to do a bit more in this game, but that's his base value there. That's just what he gets. Kinney, 62. Didn't see much of him in terms of Supercoach points this game. Pascoe's the big talking point here. Got pulled from the game, not even injured. So that's very interesting to see. And the worst thing about it is they win the game. So he could be someone we look at selling now. He's made a bunch of cash. He's 57 break even at 545,000. He's made 344K at the moment before upgrades or updates, sorry. So yeah, that's going to be really interesting. Now, also, I think it was Tamapueu. Sorry if I pronounce this wrong, but one of the wingers, I think it was for Gold Coast Titans, had a really serious injury, season ending. So this could swing Firemoney back into the team. So if you're a Firemoney owner and he's been sitting in your CT dubs, hold him because I think you may see him come back next week. For the Panthers, a lot to talk about here. I was torn this week. I was like, do I get Dylan Edwards in? Is he a must-have? And you know what? 74 is good, but I think there's better fullbacks out there. And there's a couple I'm going to be targeting next week on a really crazy fullback sort of roulette play I'm going to do. One of them is possibly Iongi. I just think maybe there's a bit more better value out there and higher ceiling. Again, you will love a 74 from Edwards in this game. Completely fine. It looked dire at some point of the game, but he just plugged away and got what he needed to get. And in a game where I didn't really see him do a crazy amount of work, for him to get a 74, I think you'll completely love. Lindsay Smith getting 109, huge. Liam Martin was absolutely amazing this game. I think there's no doubt you'll see him come into the Blues team. Isaiah Papali'i, we already spoke about him. Nothing else much to talk about for the Panthers in this one, in my opinion. Alamotti actually does deserve a mention. 72, break even of 1. If you went him, nice pick. Could be a nice pod play as well. Bulldogs versus Sea Eagles. This was a cracker of the game. Felt like Sea Eagles threw this one away. Really, really weird and interesting drop kick choices. Just really bad footy, to be honest, towards the end of this game. But Bulldogs get away with a 13-12 win. Lockie Galvin, 79. Hate him all you want, but he was very key to the win of this game. Connor Tracy was doing some really hard running this game for a 79 as well. Kiraz, I thought he was injured and out for the game. He just keeps going. I feel like he's a ticking time bomb, but if you've had him for the last 3 or 4 rounds, you're absolutely cheering. expect him to be a trade out very soon, I would say. It's looking dire for him. I think there's definitely a chance that he just goes down in a game, which is really going to hurt you. And I think it'll be much better to know that he's not playing for a week or 2 weeks prior to him playing, because every time this guy plays on a field, I just think, is he about to break down? Tupanua wasn't as impactful this game. 57 was close at times, but still bit mediocre. Crichton 55 with a try. We don't care about that. Burton, I think Burton played a bit of centre this game. 54, just didn't break the line as much as you saw in some other games. Nothing else much to talk about the Bulldogs. I don't think they're overly Supercoach relevant besides Kiraz, in my opinion. Lehigh Hopewadi. Someone on my YouTube comments asked me about Lehigh Hopewadi. I said I personally wouldn't go there, and now I'm laughing at myself because whoever did ask that question, I hope you did go Lehigh. 99 points, top scores for the whole game. What a great pick. He was at a price of $577,000 with 126 break even. Now that would have scared a lot of people, but boy oh boy, he's still going to lose a bit of money, so he could still be a play for people. You're looking at Manly having the Bulldogs away in 16, which was the game that just played. So Melbourne at home, Parramatta away, North Queensland at home, Gold Coast away. Boy, oh boy, does Tommy Turbo's name scream out a bunch here. That's it. I'm going Tommy Turbo next week after seeing that. I don't care if he gets injured. You got to take a risk. He got a 70 this game. Looked really good. Looked like he was just floating around a lot. And I think he needed this one game to like get it out of the system. And yeah, looks really, really good. And I think he'll be brought in by some people next week. Ruben Garrick, 85, looked really good this game. He's been someone that, some people were talking about a few rounds back. 612,000. He'll go up a bit with the 85, but could still be a purchase if you want to look at that. Olakau'atu, 74. Didn't really look crazily good this game, in my opinion. I mean, I think people were expecting a lot more out of him. Whether you're happy with the 74 as an owner, well, that's your opinion. I just think, yeah, there were some times I'm like, he's just not doing anything. I don't know if that's just like him chilling out or the ball just didn't get to him a lot, but that's just my opinion. Supercoach wise, and with all the other players from Manly, I would honestly not recommend anyone else. Taniela Paseka getting a 64. This guy has been one of the misses of the season, I think. Yeah, he's just plugging away and getting some really big numbers. Akula, 97. Definitely have to mention that. The only issue is, obviously, he's origin bound, but that's a really good 97 in a game against the Bulldogs. All right, next. Now, I didn't get to watch I didn't get to watch the Warriors-Cowboys game. Got to watch some of the Storm and Raiders and watch some of the Roosters and Sharks. So let's talk about the Warriors. Clearly, I did not expect Drinky to land 100 in this game. Congrats to Drinky. I'm really scared now of what we are going to be like without Drinky, because even in a game like this where I was pretty much confident we were going to lose, I say we because I follow the Cowboys. Boy, oh boy, did I not expect Drinky, the guy who I traded out, to land on a triple-digit score. But again, Charles Nickel-Cook's stat, 154 points. Whoa. Pompey, who I've spoken about being a bit of a pod in previous videos because of the RTS injury, he lands 109 points. Tamari Martin, 106. If you are the Andrew Webster, you just wouldn't bring Metcalf back in. You're absolutely crazy to do that. The time they brought Metcalf back in, they actually lost the game. I think what Metcalf would be is maybe an interchange play for a bit of boost if things are going sour. Maybe Martin comes off. But still, again, I just don't even think that's a play. Until things look dire, that's when Metcalf will come back in. Tane Tuapiki, 89. Wade Egan, 89. Really good to see there. Laban, was someone who I was looking at, but only 38 points in this one. The big talking point here, Jackson Ford. I think they've said 4 to 6 weeks, pec injury. He will be the biggest sold player next week for sure. So he'll be gone. Now, I do have the backup there with Tarpanay and Terrell May. maybe I don't need to focus on that, but it'll be interesting to see what people do. And if Alex Twal is back next week, he'll just be the auto swap. I think you'll see people just go Jackson Ford to Twal because he's due back very soon. Chanel Harris to Feeder, 42. Aaron Clark only a 45 this game. That's most probably because there were so many points scored, which means less minutes on the field and running. Jackson Purdue getting a 60, I'm actually super happy with. The biggest no-no here is Tommy Chester, 29 points. 29 points when the Cowboys score 20 points is really weird to see. He's usually more of a high base runner. Look, I can't complain too much because he's been so great this season, but heavily monitoring him now. He could be someone that easily goes next week as well. And honestly, super coach wise for the rest of the Cowboys, I wouldn't really talk about anyone else in this team. Reed Marnie, 44, who cares? And yeah, that's it. Let's go to the Storm Raiders. My savior, my king, Sua Fa'alogo, 139 points, absolutely massive. Will Warbrick, 131. Will Warbrick won me my draft. Sua Fa'alogo keeps my sanity in check with him having the captaincy armband on him. And Timoko actually won me my draft in NRL Fantasy, so it's all just pluses for this game. Cameron Munster, 92. Leo, 80. Stefano Utoikamanu, 69. Lasardi gets a try in this one and still only gets a 68. Very interesting. Very, very interesting to note that. The Raiders are just plummeting, eh? I said it at the start of the season. I didn't think Raiders would be as strong. They lost Jamal Fogarty, who was literally the centerpiece of their team, and you can see that things are just going a bit haywire. Of course, Tamale in this one finally gets a 72 after I've traded him out, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. Hudson Young getting an 86, but this team is just falling apart. Tarpanay, 37. He could be someone we look at getting rid of soon as well, but I don't want to do too many trades into my front row forwards, getting things out like that. But yeah, he might have to go soon. I'll most probably give him an extra 1 week because they have the round 18 bye. So he's someone who I can likely play in round 17 and then look at moving on in round 18 possibly. Ethan Strange, 37. Nothing much to say there. Tommy Starling, only 26 for random owners there that have him. Paddy gets 62, so he's getting actually more minutes there. So very interesting to see. And then for the Melbourne Storm, Jerome Hughes, 44. They came off early. He came off early. Harry Grant, where's Harry Grant? 36. I don't know how many minutes played, so I'm not going to say too much about this. But if they were losing by 16 points, that is a very mediocre game from Harry Grant. 101 break even. He's going to lose a bit of money there too. So very interesting to see that. Moses Leo gets 80 this game. Wow, he's been the cheap. Moses Leo is now worth $522,000 and he's going to gain a bit more cash. Wow, this guy was a cheapie that I wish I held on to. I can't believe the numbers this guy is putting up now. That is disgusting. Yeah, nothing else to talk about here from the Melbourne Storm. Sua Fa'alogo, the savior. Thank you. Roosters versus the Sharks. Marky Mark, 101 points. The only reason I'm not going there is because he will definitely, or he should be, I'm not going to say definitely, but should be playing Origin 3. He looked absolutely great in Origin 2. Robert Toya, 82. Sam Walker, 60 with a try assist in this game and the kicking. Gonna monitor that, but 27-8 in this one. Weird scoreline. As I've said before, the way you beat the Roosters, well, I haven't said this before, but the way you beat the Roosters is you can't just chuck the ball left and right because their edge defense is so good with Billy Smith and Robert Toya. You really need to run through them in the middle, create overlaps because people need to come in to defend on a tackle that's been made, tackle that's been missed. And then that's when you break them in the sides by the overlap. But the problem with the Sharks is they really lack the punch through the middle. I know they have AFB, but he's not the same AFB. And they have no one else that really can run it at them really hard. They don't have that Stefano. I feel like they don't even have that guy. They don't have that Haas. They don't have that Stefano. They don't have that guy that just runs full steam ahead through the middle and really breaks through. I think that's the thing that's holding them back. And when you just try and go left to right on the Roosters, they will defend you well. And only scoring 8 points in this game is really tough. The silver lining in this one is Nicho Hynes came in and played for a 61, which is absolutely great. Really helps with this week and really helps with the hold. I think people are going to be like non-owners, even though he only got a 61. To get a 61 in this type of game, really good to see. Iro 50, 50 on Toya's edge, one of the best, if not the best centre defender in this league at the moment. I'm happy with that. I'll take it to the bank and go to the next. The Sharks have an okay-ish draw. No, let's have a look here. So they have. Do they have a bye next week? Oh God. Oh God, they have a bye next week, so I won't have Iro or Nicho Hynes. Then they have Broncos away, Dolphins away, Newcastle at home, Manly away, Souths at home, St. George away. Honestly, Lord help me. I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, wait, Cleary will be playing next week, though. Okay, that's fine. I'm saved. Let's click this button back again. Saw Wong. Didn't he get a try this game for a 56? I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Saw Wong got a try this game for a 56. If so, that's really, really poor. Tedesco, 71. Not bad in this game. Still going to lose a ton of money with a 148 break even. Nafahu White could be a little bit of a play coming into this sort of draw they're coming into, which is quite nice for memory. They have Broncos away. They have the bye in round 18. And then they have Parramatta, Melbourne, Newcastle, North Queensland. So nothing crazy, but still pretty nice. So that's going to be something to monitor with the Roosters. They just have so many forwards though, so you can't read into it too much. Supercoach wise, I'd still be happy with Sam Walker if you owned him. He could be someone I really focus on with a break-even of 100. He's going to be close to his lowest point that I would want to maybe look at snagging him, but Origin is obviously something we need to look at. Lindsay Collins, 67 with a try. Don't read into that too much. Marky Mark and Marky Mark, Tedesco, Sam Walker. These are the guys you want. Maybe Robert Toya could be a great CTW pick as well once Origin is finished. McInnes 48 only. He had a great week last week and that dropped off this week as well. Mulatalo 55 points and Blake Brayley 54. Very interesting. Not too bad for Mulatalo considering they only scored 8 points. And Blake Brayley, welcome back. He could be someone we look at getting in as well. And he may not even get into the Origin team. It could literally be Appy and Reece Robson. If that's the case, we could load up on Brayley as the run home hooker if we did want to do that. All right, that's it. That's your round 16 wrap up. Let me know if there's anything I've missed. Let me know what you think below. Let me know your score for the week in the comments and your rank and how many trades you have left, more importantly. And if you're like me, do you have one boost or do you have more boosts or no boost? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching, guys. It's Wolfie from the Rage Traders. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care and see you on the next one.